Now, in second part, students, we will study that basically what is anatomy. So, how you can define anatomy? Anatomy is the science of the structure and the function. So, whenever you will define anatomy, you will use the word structure and the function. So, anatomy is the science of the structure and the function of the body. Now, this is a branch of science that is concerned with the bodily structures of the humans, animals, and the living organisms. But we, the farm, these students will definitely study the human anatomy. Now, what is human anatomy? So, human anatomy can be defined as this is the science in which we deal with the structure of the human body. The term anatomy is derived from the Greek word that is anatomy. That means cutting up. So some people think that the alternative term for the cutting up is the dissection, which is an alternative word. No, definitely this dissection is not an alternative word for the cutting up. Anatomy is not just the cutting up, anatomy is not just the dissection. So you can't use the word anatomy alternative to that of the dissection. Dissection is something different. Dissection definitely helps us to study anatomy. Now, in this era, we have different modern techniques by using which you can study anatomy. For example, you have MRI, you have CT scan, you have X-rays. So this anatomy is basically a wider field. So dissection is just a small division of the anatomy. This is just a small technique. So then anatomy. What is anatomy? Anatomy is basically the foundation of the whole art of the medicine. How this is the foundation of the whole art of the medicine? Because definitely in anatomy, you will study the structures, you will study the physiology in anatomy as well. That is the functions. And then in your next semesters, in advanced stages, you will study the effect of the drugs on this anatomy, on these organs, on these tissues. So basically, this anatomy is the basics for your PharmD studies. So what is anatomy? Anatomy, what the author is saying in VD Chaurasia, he's saying that anatomy is to physiology as geography is to histology. He wants to say that anatomy has same relationship with physiology, which geography is with the histology. So anatomy has the same relationship with physiology, which the geography has with the histology. Definitely in geography, you will study the places, you will study the relationships, people, their environment. In anatomy, what you are studying physiology, you are studying whole human body. You can say that anatomy can be described as a theater in which the actions are taking place. Theater means your body. Anatomy is actually describing your body, that theater in which the actions, in which the physiology is actually playing its role. So you can say this is a theater in which the action takes place. So students, this was all about the introduction of the anatomy. Hope you will understand the lecture. If you have any question, you can ask me.